that's an interesting question. I like that. Um, there have been so many magical things that have happened to me. I guess one of the most, or one of the things that happened to me that made me believe in humanity the most, and kind of reaffirmed the fact that we are all spirits on a journey that the journey is supposed to make us kind. Um, I was 15 and I was at a music festival, and the guy that I had went to the festival with turned out to be very, very unpleasant, let's say. A very not pleasant young man. So I had to leave. So the festival was a 3-day festival over the weekend. I came down to the festival. It was on the Hungarian border on the Friday, and by kind of Saturday evening, the guy had turned quite bad. So I obviously couldn't stay in his tent anymore for, safety reasons. So I had to leave, and I had nowhere else to go because I had a train ticket, but the train ticket was for Monday morning. I couldn't transfer it over. Obviously, I couldn't call my mother because she would have just told me to F off. Um, and I didn't know anybody else, and I was completely alone, and I had no money, and I was 15, lost at a music festival on the Hungarian border with nowhere to go. Um, so I went over to where the buses were, and I just thought, oh, I'm just gonna go to Vienna. By the time that happened, I had already spent a few weeks living on the streets in Vienna, one summer because reasons. And so I was like, I can do that again. Like I can survive for a few days on the streets of Vienna. I really can. It's fine. Um, so I was going over to where the buses were, and I was just kind of sitting on my little bag, um, and I was talking on the phone to my friend, Beth, and I told her the whole story, and I was like, oh, well, where am I going to go? There's nowhere I can go. I'm just going to sleep at a train station in Vienna, for the next few days. It's fine. And this amazing couple, and they were in their early 20s, so they weren't that much older than me, just overheard me. Um, and they approached me and they said, you're not doing that. That's not, that's not happening. Not on our watch. Girl, what? No, you're not doing that. Um, and they took me in and they brought me to Vienna and they brought me into their luxurious, like, penthouse apartment with like golden furniture and like absolute luxury, and they were like billionaires or something, and I was like, oh, okay, that's better than a train station. And they fed me ice cream and they looked after me and they showed me comedy videos of Eddie Izzard for the whole night. And then the next morning, because I was Indian, the girl's aunt made a curry, and she looked up a recipe on how to make curry and she cooked a curry for me, and we went over to her aunt's place and had a curry, and then they got a driver with a Mercedes to drive us back to the festival. So after having been kicked out by this really horrible man, um, I was brought back to the festival in a Merc. And then after all, like we watched all the gigs, and then they picked us up in the Mercedes again. It was like black and like with tinted windows in the back, and I don't know, I don't want to know what they actually did. Um, and got I got to stay until like my train on Monday morning, and I don't know their names. I don't remember their names. I never saw them again. I never heard from them again. I don't know who they were. I don't know who they were. I know he was a photographer. So if, my God, by any chance, do they hear this? Oh my goodness. Um, he was a photographer in London, and she was an artist. Both of them, in their 20s. She was amazing. And they just saved me. Just randomly saved me. And I never forgot them, obviously, but I don't believe that they were human. I think they must have been like if I think the definition of an angel. Um, and it did feel kind of magical. It did feel kind of like destiny had kind of aligned itself and said, no, we're not doing this. We're doing it this way. Which kind of, again, you don't know the impact that a small bit of kindness has to you. Um, so yeah, I think it's those moments when I see human beings surpassing their mere humanity a little bit and become slightly magical and become slightly larger than life. It's very inspiring. And if I can live up to their example, even in the smallest ways, I've done my life right, you know?